How are we doing, guys? Leeds 1, Wigan 2, match review of the game. Now, I just want to put a quick disclaimer out here that I'm going to be critical of certain people. I'm going to be critical. I'm going to be honest. This is going to be a lot of criticisms here. But this is just purely a review of the game. It doesn't necessarily reflect my opinion of what certain individuals have done for Leeds United as a football club. It's just my opinion on what happened in this game. You know, who I feel, what I felt caused this result. I don't want to. This isn't a general opinion on people. It's just purely an assessment of this game. That's all it is, guys. That's something I just thought was important to point out because it's not my kind of style. I don't tend to do this very often, but I feel it does justify it. I think the only real time I've been massively critical of the team is probably after the Norwich game. The second half against Norwich, but today didn't feel right. Didn't feel right at all. I looked at that and I felt, I can't even assess what I felt. It's just unbelievable. I know it's a championship. I know it is a championship. We have the best home record in the league, I believe, and maybe not now actually. Whenever we score first, before today, we haven't dropped a point. We haven't dropped a single point when we score first in the game or led the game. Wigan, worst away record in the league. All the signs point to a Leeds win here. But I said in the match preview, I felt this was going to be a difficult game. I probably did go a little bit over the top in how much we assess this game, but I always felt Wigan's performance against Norwich showed a good team. I know albeit it was Wigan at home and they were a completely different team at home, but there were signs in that performance that made me think this is not going to be easy at all. I think everyone, myself included, felt that out of the 4 games, Ipswich and Wigan were the ones we've got to look at and say 6 points there. We need to win those 2 games and just perform in the Villa and Brentford games. But for me, we have to win both the Villa and Brentford games now. Really, we have to really put the pressure back on Sheffield United. We certainly, no matter what happens to Sheffield United, we've got to beat Brentford on Monday for me, and that's not going to be easy. It's going to be really difficult. Let's be honest. Our record at Brentford's not great. Brentford are absolutely fantastic at home. It's not going to be easy. But let's just go back into the game. I'm getting carried away there. First half is an interesting one. I think we start the game pretty well. Wigan have a couple of little, half chances. Didn't start the game too badly themselves. It was pretty even. I thought it was quite an exciting start to the game. We have the early big boost. The red card. I'll be honest. When I saw it live, I was like, "What's he getting sent off for?" But then I saw it on the replay. It's fair enough. I don't think he's meant to handball it. It's hit him on the hand. It's on the line. It's going to be a goal. I think the referee has made the right decision there. I saw Paul Cook complain about that, but for me, it's a red card. That at the end of the day, remember we missed the penalty, and it's a blow. It's a blow. But maybe arrogantly of myself, I still felt confident. I still felt we would then kick on, and then we get ourselves a goal. It's a great ball off Luke Ayling and Patrick Bamford, and it's not going to get the credit it deserves. It was an absolutely fantastic goal of Patrick Bamford. It was. It's an absolutely superb piece of skill. Great touch, takes it around the defender, and a top finish as well. It's a fantastic goal of Patrick Bamford, and that is Patrick Bamford at his best. Clever little touches, and just committing defenders and doing things like that, getting goals out of nothing. That is what Patrick Bamford does when he's at his best. And if we can get more of that out of him, then I'd be absolutely delighted. But for me, Patrick Bamford is probably one of the very few players who can lift their heads up high. Now I watched obviously Conor's review of this before I filmed. I think Joe has also done his preview beforehand, so guys, if you can check that out, and please do. I have to agree with at least 99.9% of what Conor said. The one thing I might disagree with a little bit was Patrick Bamford's performance. I can't be too critical of Patrick Bamford. He gets himself a top goal. His touch was a little bit heavy at times, but for me, I didn't feel that was our problem today. I felt if Patrick Bamford had decent service, he would have got a couple of goals today. But he didn't, did he? Let's be honest, he didn't get any decent service. And then we get the goal, and I was really disappointed. I was really disappointed that we just didn't sort of take the initiative then. Paul Cook said he was expecting it to be 2 or 3 before half time. I think the crowd was expecting that. Maybe that's arrogant, maybe it is, I don't know. Wigan are a good team. Wigan have proven that today. Their league position does not represent how good they are as a team. They are a decent team. I've seen a lot of teams around mid-table. I'm not going to name particular teams who are Wigan, I'd say, considerably been playing better than. I'd say that. Maybe it doesn't quite translate in league position. It's the championship at the end of the day. How many times am I going to say that today? But I just didn't feel we pushed on. I just didn't feel that. You know, I didn't feel we pushed on for the goal, and then the goal we concede is absolutely diabolical defending. I can't think of any other word for it. I don't know what Jarniowski's trying to do. He's been completely outmuscled. He's made the wrong decision in the first place to step out. You know, he's the guys. I think it was Sam Morsey who picks up the ball. I might be wrong on that. The only way that chance, that avenue can open is by Jarniowski trying to press the ball or trying to move out of position. The only way that can possibly happen is Jarniowski trying to be proactive. All he has to do is just stay with Gavin Massey. But I don't know what he's trying to do. He's just going for the ball. I mean, what's he trying to do? He's just completely opened the passing lane up. It's frustrating. It's a poor piece of defending. And I have to say, I think Kiko Casilla probably will be a little bit disappointed with that. Mate, it's not a massive Kiko Casilla error. It's well hit, but he's committed a little bit early there. It's a disappointing goal. That's a blow. And then we go in half time. But I'll be honest, at half time, I still felt we could recover from that. You know, I can't defend that defending. It was absolutely awful. And at half time, we make the changes, and this is where I'm afraid, for the first time this season, I'm going to have to criticise Marcelo Bielsa, because I do not have a clue what the changes were about. I can't even begin to understand what the thinking was behind the changes. I'm sorry to say that. You know, I absolutely adore Marcelo Bielsa, but I cannot even begin to understand why we made the changes we did. Calvin Phillips comes off, Tyler Roberts comes off, Adam Forshaw and Kemar Roof come on. Now, I do not rate Adam Forshaw or Kemar Roof, but only when they play in their best positions. Kemar Roof up front, Adam Forshaw was the high 8 ahead of Calvin Phillips, but unfortunately they both played deeper than usual. Adam Forshaw was in a holding midfield role, Kemar Roof was up alongside Matthias Klick and Tyler Roberts' position, and I have to say, look, Calvin Phillips and Tyler Roberts were not great today. By any stretch of the imagination, they were pretty average, but I felt there was a lot worse players on that pitch today than Adam Forshaw and then Tyler Roberts and Calvin Phillips. But for me, I don't know. You know, maybe the thinking behind it was to just attack Wigan, put them under pressure, and just get that goal. Maybe that was the thinking behind it. But I just didn't think that was the right way to go about it. That's my personal opinion. I felt I'm not being wise after the event. I'm genuinely not being wise after the event. I myself just didn't. I think the whole crowd. I just didn't feel. Yeah, I felt there was a nervousness in that second half, and I just felt somewhat. I think the substitutions inspired that. You know, because Calvin Phillips and Tyler Roberts last week were absolutely influential, and I don't think either of them were having that part of the game. You know, they weren't standing out by any stretch of the imagination, but I just didn't think it was. I never felt it was going to work. I'll be honest. You know, and I'm really sorry if I'm coming across as a fool here. I don't know, but I have to be critical. I have to be critical of that change, because I think it has cost us the game. I'm sorry to say, I genuinely do feel it has cost us the game today, and it really hurts saying this. It really does hurt. You know, I don't want to be all dramatic and that lot, but it does genuinely hurt to say that. And I was really thinking before I filmed, says, can I really say this? But I have to. I'm sorry. I have to say it did really play a massive part in the game. But going to the second half, and we just weren't there. We weren't at it. You know, we just weren't at it. There was nervousness. It was just relax. Just do what you did in that first half. You relax, and then, but it just turned to the second half. It was just a game of get the ball and just cross it into the box. Aimless crossing into the box. And Conor's said it about the left-hand side, and I'm sorry, I'm going to have to agree. I have to agree. It's absolutely ridiculous sometimes what they're trying to do on that side. It literally is so predictable. The ball goes to Alioski, or it goes to Harrison. They'll lay it off to Alioski or Harrison, whichever way around it is, and the cross will be completely and utterly wasted. It's so frustrating to see, and I don't understand why, in the second half especially, that's what we're trying to do, you know, trying to cross the ball into the box. That hasn't been the strength of the team this season. You look at it, even if the cross into the box is good, who's getting on the end of that? Matthias Klick put some really good balls into that box in the first half, second half, especially in the first half actually. He puts a quality one into Kemar Roof, but Kemar Roof's strength, he scored a couple of headers, yeah, but realistically, you know, why are the players doing that? And that's not Marcelo Bielsa. That is the players making the wrong decisions. You know, I don't know, guys. Maybe I'm coming across as a bit of a fool here, but I have to be honest. I have to be critical. You know, I don't want to be critical, but I have to be. You know, on this one, it's just so. You know, we have had some poor defeats this season. As good as the season has been, We have had some poor defeats this season, but this is the first time I've sort of looked at it and thought, nah, that we caused that ourselves. You know, it wasn't the other team, you know, performing. Wigan were absolutely superb, by the way, but we really did play into their hands today. We really did. And you have to put full credit to Wigan. The way they defended at times, bodies on the line, what you want to see defensively, and it was just absolutely incredible. You know, the way they defended, and they made it so difficult for us. But we've got to do better. We played 75 minutes against 10 men. 75 minutes against 10 men. I know sometimes it's more difficult to play against 10 men. They're going to drop back a little bit, but they look dangerous on the counter-attack. They look really dangerous on the counter-attack. And this is where I'm going to come on to Adam Forshaw. Connor's mentioned it. Adam Forshaw, when he plays in that holding midfield role, likes to push forward. And it's fair enough, because that is his strength. Taking the ball, dribbling about 5 yards or so, little mini dribble, and lay the ball off. You know, a little simple pass. That's what he likes to do. But that is a problem when he's in that position. You can't take that kind of risk. When you're the single pivot in the midfield, you have to be disciplined. You have to be, and for me, Calvin Phillips is the only player who can play in that position. Now, I like Adam Forshaw. Now, I don't want anyone to think I don't like Adam Forshaw. I absolutely love Adam Forshaw. When he plays in his best position, he's a top player for me. But it's a completely different story when he plays in that holding midfield role. He costs us goals. I'm sorry to say, he costs us goals in that position. And it's not necessarily Adam Forshaw's fault. He's having to get into he has to deal with certain situations which aren't his strengths. You know, trying to hold, you know, it's hard to explain really. But you look at the second goal. The second goal is a prime example. Now the second goal, again, Alioski, the attempt to stop the cross is, I don't even want to put into words the attempt to stop the cross. Just watch it again tonight. If you don't believe me, watch it again tonight. Watch Alioski's attempt to stop that cross. It's awful. I mean, what's he trying to do? He's a fullback, man. God, it feels different filming, doing a video like this. You know, I don't know, but you know, I always say how I feel, and today's probably only 1 or 2 times I've been massively frustrated this season, and it is. And I'm sorry if it comes across very differently, but that is just the way I feel on this. The goal, ball goes into the box. Adam Forshaw loses that first header. If Calvin Phillips is there, he's got that little bit more physicality. He probably wins that header, or he at least puts the Leon Clark under a bit of pressure. I do feel that. And there's a couple of other times this season, you know, Norwich's goals where Marcus Stiefman was dominating the midfield. I think Calvin Phillips plays a different story, but that is what it is. It is what it is. And then obviously Kemal Roof goes into the midfield. It just didn't work. It just did not work at all. I thought Kemal Roof was terrible today, if I'm being honest. That's probably his worst game of the season. You know, I think Kemal Roof's been exceptional. It was his worst game of the season. I do genuinely feel if Calvin Phillips and Tyler Roberts stayed on the pitch, we'd have won the game. You know, I felt we had decent control in the first half. Of course, the 10 men made a difference, but we looked okay in that first half. We didn't look at massive risks of counter-attacks. Second half, it looked like that. And that's why I was so frustrated with the 10 men. They didn't just come and sit back. They looked dangerous on that counter-attack. And to be fair, they could have quite easily, from what I believe, could have had a penalty on 89 minutes when Adam Forshaw went in. And, you know, they went through on goal. I think it was Gavin Massey again. It would have an absolutely superb game. You know, but I just feel, I don't know, defensively, you know, again, the type of goals we keep conceding, anticipation, it's not there. There's no anticipation on either goal. You know, Alioski is trying to, I respect what he's trying to do, he's trying to press his man, he's trying to stop things happening, but he just gets completely out muscled, and he has to see that better, he has to see that passes going into that position, he has to react to that quicker for me. Second goal, Pontus Jansson, I'm sorry to say, Pontus Jansson has to react quicker to that as well. He has to just know where his man is around him. Gavin Massey has made that run in behind him. He doesn't anticipate the second ball. He doesn't anticipate the first contact, maybe not going towards goal, maybe needing a flick on. He doesn't anticipate that at all for me, and that's disappointing. We've conceded goals like that all season. As good as we have been individually defensively, we conceded too many goals like that, not reading, anticipating things quickly enough. And we have got some top defenders at this club. It has to be said, Pontus Jansson is a top defender, but we have conceded too many goals like that this season for me. But, you know, I have to look on that left-hand side. You know, we brought on Jack Clark. I did obviously the All-History investigates. Jack Clark's strength is on that left-hand side. Jack Clark on that left-hand side is, for me, our best left-sided player at this football club. It might be a controversial thing to say. he is the best left-sided player at this football club. You know, in terms of what Bielsa wants, aggressive running, I respect what Bielsa wants to do, keeping Clark, Harrison out wide. You know, when I say that, I mean, when I say respect, I absolutely adore what Bielsa's trying to do. I mean, in terms of this game, I respect what Bielsa's trying to do, by the way. Clark one side, Harrison on the other, trying to keep the pitch as wide as possible, as big as possible, so we can just pull Wigan around the pitch. But that just didn't work. It just didn't work. And then for me, I just felt the last 15, 20 minutes, Clark could have gone to that left-hand side. And he did, to be fair, with about 4 minutes to go. When stoppage time, Clark went to that side, and within 30 seconds, he's put one really dangerous ball into the box. He's had a good shot at goal, and he's really took on his man and beaten him a couple of times. Within 30 seconds, I'm literally talking within a 30-second, maybe a minute kind of spell, and that was frustrating. That was even more hard to take. You know, he saw how much more comfortable Jack Clark is on that side. I'm not saying he can't do it on the right hand side, and I'm not saying, you know, it's not. I just felt that could have been a sort of a plan B kind of thing, just trying to play an inverted winger on one side. And for me, Pablo's a big one as well. You know, Pablo, you know, his second half, he really wants to make things right with that penalty miss. He really did want to make things right. You know, he almost at times he was trying too hard, I'm afraid. He was almost trying too hard, but I absolutely adore Pablo. But for me, Pablo has to play on the right. That right-hand side, Aylin Hernandez is the best right-hand side in the league. And then when you got Click or Roberts joining in as well, form sort of a triangle, we cause problems. In that first half, we caused problems when he had 10 men. We always had that spare man over on the right side. I just can't understand why we broke that up a little bit. You know, with the last half an hour of the game, I can't understand why we did that. And I'm sorry, that is maybe why I'm frustrated. And I have to say, you know, I was shocked, you know, by the substitutions. But at the end of the day, we can recover from this. We can recover from this. You know, we've had disappointments this season, and we've always responded well. We have always responded well. You can't say we haven't. We have. You know, with that Birmingham game, I was really downbeat. You know, that Birmingham game I was really downbeat, but we responded brilliantly. Can we do that again for the last 3 games? I don't know. We've got 2 really tough games before that. And Ipswich away is not going to be a gimme. That is not going to be a game that's going to let us win. You know, that is not. You know, Ipswich at home have picked up, to be fair, some decent results. You know, there's not won games as such, but they have held teams. You know, they're not. It's not going to be an easy game. That, you know, at the end of the day, it's still a big challenge. And to be fair, we didn't rise up to the challenge today, and that is frustrating from that point of view. What else can I say on this? It's just so doom and gloom, isn't it? It's just, it feels hard doing this. You know, being doom and gloom. And I apologise, guys, if I'm coming across, you know, badly in this, but I just have to say what I felt on it. And I'm so proud of what the lads have done this season. I'm so proud of Marcelo Bielsa to call him Leeds United's manager. But today, I have to do it purely on what I felt today happened. I felt this is probably the first time this season when Marcelo Bielsa has made a decision and it's cost us the game. It's a shame it's come at this time of the season, but you know, we've seen it all before. Bielsa has seen it all before, you know, and we have to keep the faith. We have to keep the faith, guys. We have to keep the faith. At the end of the day, we could win all 3 games and not get promoted. Sheffield United could mess up, and we could only need to win 1 game. You can't, you know, just predict games. I do think Sheffield United have got the easier games. I have to say that. I do think they have got the easier games, and that probably does make it advantage Sheffield United. It does make it advantage Sheffield United, really, if we're being honest. I do look at it and think, if Hull don't take points off them on Monday, I'm starting to worry. You know, I'm starting to worry who's going to take points off them. But that's my feeling on it, guys. In terms of man of the match, it's an easy one this for me. Luke Ayling. I thought Luke Ayling was probably the one player who was on it today. You know, his touch was good. Getting balls into the box, probably one of the very few players who's putting good quality balls into the box. I felt Luke Ayling can hold his head up high, but for me it's a tough one for individually today. You know, I thought Luke Ayling was our best player today. That's my opinion on it, guys. I'm rambling a little bit now. I've lost my trail of thought a bit. I hope you've enjoyed it, guys. Make sure you check out Joe and Conor's review of the game as well. Like, comment, subscribe, etc, etc. You guys are amazing. Come on, lads. Let's keep the faith now. All Leeds TV. See you later, guys.